hands-on, each student with their own PC in classroom. Computers are not meant for reading text. Computers do not bring pedagogical value themselves. E-learning theories, there are a lot of theories that we took into consideration. Models, taxonomies. Models of e-learning describe where technology plays a specific role in supporting learning. This can be described both at the level of pedagogical principles and at the level of detailed practice in implementing those principles. Taxonomy, in this context, proposes a mapping of the theories of learning, the pedagogical frameworks, and the models of e-learning. The strong pedagogical foundation, it's actually human intelligence in the learning process. I have a pyramid as well over here. It's the pyramid that, you know, every teacher will actually recognize. It's the pedagogical principles behind the teaching and learning process. Remembering, understanding, it's what we learn, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and what we want to create for the future, it's creating. Because in fact, most of the countries right now in their educational sectors, and I'm not talking only, you know, let's say countries, developing countries, I'm talking like developed countries, they don't create knowledge. They reproduce knowledge. For this, the theory of Howard Gardner in education, or let's say the theory of the 5 minds, he actually scientifically has proved that in each person, in each individual, there are 5 minds that work. And of course, some of them will be more developed, while some others are less developed. So let's say in a classroom, if we have one student that is very quiet, it's silent, in the breaks he stays to solve another mathematical problems, definitely he will be the individual to have the logical mathematical intelligence. On the other hand, if we have the popular guy, the guy who says, you know, the best jokes, the guy who is the best and the most handsome guy, definitely he doesn't have the logical mathematical intelligence, but he has the interpersonal and intrapersonal intelligence. Of course, this comes with the help of technology and connectivity. But again, e-learning, it's a process, not a product. So what we have here now and what we deal at present, it's the constructivist models. What we addressed right now in our educational system, I would say around the world, around the globe, it's the cognitive domain. We address synthesis, recollection, comprehension, evaluation, and analysis. This is the cognitive domain. This is what education addresses in the mind of people. On the other hand, what we do about the affective domain. All children, even adults, we all have values, we have motivation, we have attitudes, stereotypes, and feelings. So the constructivist model, actually, in our days, addresses this challenge. If we can put together, and in the learning teaching process, we address both domains, then definitely the future will look totally different than we know it now. So the pedagogical approach, factual knowledge, basic elements learners must know to be acquainted with a discipline or solve problems in it. Conceptual knowledge, it refers to a learner's representation of the major concepts in a system. Procedural knowledge, the knowledge exercised in the accomplishment of a task. And metacognitive knowledge, which basically metacognition is defined as cognition about cognition, or knowing about knowing. or learning how to learn. It can take many forms, includes knowledge about when and where to use particular strategies for learning or for problem solving. So if we apply all these types of knowledge, factual, conceptual, procedural, and metacognitive, to the processes, to the pyramid of pedagogy, remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create, we can develop educational content that carries pedagogical value, and it's created, enhanced, and recreated over and over again by teachers. We have developed different types of educational content: utilitarian, thematic, simulation software, investigation, testing and evaluation, interactive, educational games, so on and on and on. Of course, this content, it's standardized. Of course, it applies international standards like SCORM, European Union standards. Those are the phases and the whole process of developing the content, instructional design, assumption about the learner. When you create something like this, you'll have to build behind a whole strategy. You'll have to take into consideration a lot of factors: demographical, psychological, attitudinal, experience with technology-based training, motivational, prior knowledge and experience, organizational culture, accessibility. This is the workflow of the content, and the personal experience actually, hold on back, it's what this vision does. The teacher, it's not with his back behind the classroom, writing on a board, while behind him anything can happen, and he's fighting only with the blackboard to solve a problem, or to demonstrate to the children how smart he is. So, in the new era, practically teachers will create their own content, and they will take a step back and be behind the children, guide them. I put it here like some typical initial response to national e-learning projects that we had, you know, all over the world. So responses like Ministry of Education: we want to implement the education reform. We want to enter the third millennium. Students, computers, excellent, lovely, give them to us. Parents, of course, I want my child to learn by the most innovative and modern technologies. Teachers, yeah. So basically, why, and I will finish with this, why the teachers say to e-learning? And there are different types of answers. I'm not an expert in using a computer. I will go in front of the class and I will embarrass myself. The students know more than I do, so on and on and on. So there are different reasons: fear of embarrassment, conservative attitude, poorly maintained infrastructure, lack of computer skills, and of course, misunderstanding the program. Indeed, the computers cannot replace the teacher, but definitely the teacher has to assume the new role and empower the children so they can build together the knowledge-based society. Thank you.